Well, in just 1 week from today, I'm going to be running my first ever 200-mile ultramarathon. And this is all the gear that I'm taking with me. Okay, so this first bit of kit is stuff that I'm actually going to be running with. All got to go in this bag here, which I will take with me and have with me during the entire run. So we've got, in no particular order, blister kit. So lots of plasters in there. We have some batteries. Now I've got a spare GPS unit here. I'm going to be using my watch as my main navigation, but got a GPS unit there as a backup. So that's a backup for the batteries for that. There's also some AAA batteries which are for my head torch as well. So I've got two head torches, one which is rechargeable, USB rechargeable, and then this that takes the batteries. So I'm taking no chances. I don't want to get lost or end up in the dark up the mountain. So I've got two light sources and also spare batteries for one of those light sources as well. GPS and the spare batteries for that. It's got some wipes, got some magic foot cream, Trench. I don't know if you've heard of this. If you do ultra running, magic stuff, really good for the feet. And I've got a couple of tubes of that with me for the run. Vaseline, don't want to get runner's tit. I really do not recommend that. I recommend the Vaseline. I don't recommend the runner's tit. Now in this one, I've got various tablets. I don't normally take painkillers at all during my everyday life, but if it is a choice of finishing or not, I have got some paracetamol with me, which I'll take during the run. I'll take in the bag with the run just in case I need them, but I won't actually take them unless things do get too tough. I've got some water purification tablets as well, and some electrolyte tablets that I might put in the water bottles during the course of a run. I have in here some citronella, which I find works really well for keeping the midges away and the mozzies. So it's kind of a lemony smell that insects don't generally like. So I'm going to put a few drops of that on. I've got raincoat packed in there, which has got taped seams as well, which is on the mandatory kit list for most ultra marathons. I have a vest in case I get too hot. In the other extreme, I've got a fleece in case I get too cold. And I've also got a mid layer as well, so I can really hopefully control the heat, because obviously if it's sunny during the day, that's going to be a lot different than cold when you're running through the night. So I've got microfiber towel. I can just sort of dry my socks off, that kind of thing, or dry my feet off. I've got my Vegan Runners buff, which works as a hat. It works as a cravat. It works as a sweatband. It works as a snot rag. It works as anything. So very, very useful bit of kit, one of those. If you've not got a buff, I strongly recommend you get one. I got the all-important Factor 50. Now, I don't run with a hat on, and obviously I haven't got a lot to protect my head from the sun, so I will be putting this on regularly. Sometimes I do put a buff over my head, but I just find it just get really, really hot with a hat on, so I tend to just slap on the Factor 50 on a regular basis. These are my running poles, which obviously will be out of the bag. Helvellyn Pro, Harrow Helvellyn Pro, really lightweight, really good running poles. Spare pair of socks. Now I use Injinji toe socks, which I absolutely hate putting on. I hate things in between my toes, but they do work very well. That in conjunction with the Trench, I really find helps to keep the blisters at bay. I've got the running pack. I've also got this running belt as well, which has a couple of water bottles on it, which are really handy. And also I'll do it up so it does up round that way. And then I've got space, so I'll put my running poles in there. So I have the running poles in front of me, and I can take those out, put them away as and when I need them. Now on the mandatory kit, this is a compass. So I have said compass. Also got a clip light for the back of the backpack for night time. And then two water flasks, which I'll have in the front of my running pack, and top those up. Top one up with just plain water. And then the other one, I use something called Active Root, which I've got a couple of spare top-up sachets there, which I'll put one of those in one of the flasks. So that's a ginger-based powder, which full of got some calories in there and stuff. And then very, very important, particularly if it is warm, salt tablets. So I keep those separately. Got those. Try and take those on a regular basis, just depending on how much I'm sweating and how hot it is. I've got, again, mandatory kit list. I've got some waterproof trousers. I've got a pair of gloves and a hat and an emergency like bivy bag, which I may actually just use for sleeping. If I do sleep on the trail, I'll probably use that. And then USB charging banks. I'm hoping to charge properly at the aid stations, but if I do run out of charge, I've got a lead for my watch and a USB-C lead, so I can charge up my phone or camera or whatever with that. And then food that I'm going to be taking. I have some Kendal mint cake, which did start off as bars, but it's been in my pocket. I've taken it out on several runs, so now most of these are now powder, but that's really good. I can really, really a lot of energy in those, and I can take those during a run. I have flapjacks, which if you've got a Home Bargains near you, these start at about 39p. They're great value for money. And then I've got these, which are the equivalent of Naked bars, but Lidl's version. So I've got a few of those. My ginger nut biscuits, Food of Champions, I've got some of those, and some trail mix, which is just a mixture of various seeds and cashew nuts. Okay, so this is everything I'm going to be taking and having in my drop bag. Now, the drop bags are available at all of the 10 aid stations. So it's basically a case of being able to top up things, change your clothes, that kind of thing. Quick run through here then. I've got a few pairs of shoes, one of which I will be wearing, so got 2 spares. Now, I don't normally wear these Hokas, but they have got cushioning. So I'm thinking if my feet really are struggling, maybe at the last bit, then that would be useful to have that. So if not, it'll be Ultra Lone Peaks 9, Ultra Lone Peak 8. Start the run in that and probably do the bulk of the run with the Lone Peaks 9 because I really Lone Peak 9s because I really do like them. And then really, really important, this little guy, this little Buddha. Can you see little Buddha? Real big sentimental value. And I'm not going to explain in this video the story behind Buddha. It's quite emotional. I'll do a video of the entire run and I'll explain the story of Buddha, but Buddha is definitely coming with me. I've also got an MP3 player and some headphones. Not really intending to use them, maybe through the night, through the night time. They are loaded with lots of banging running tunes, lots of Stock Aitken and Waterman as well, and a few motivational things. So yeah, maybe use the MP3 player, maybe not. Top up of flapjacks, top up of tropical fruit mix, and then socks. I mentioned I use Injinji socks, which I do. I've got a spare pair of those with me, spare pairs of those. These are Runderwear anti-blister socks, and they work quite well as well. There's actually a sock within a sock. So when they rub, it's just one sock rubbing against another sock rather than rubbing against your feet. So they're pretty good. Kind of my first aid kit in here, top-ups of the sun cream, some top-ups of the Vaseline, some earplugs to get some sleep, hopefully, at the aid stations. The rest of the water purification tablets, I'll have some more of those with me, but I can obviously top those up. I have the electrolytes, the high fives, which I'll have some with me, but again, I could top those up at the aid stations. The tape, which I never actually use, but I see everybody taping themselves up, so I've got it just in case I do need it. Ginger, which I carry with me during a run, so again, to top up on that. As are these packets of ginger nut biscuits, some cashews, my selection of shorts. I'm a huge fan of Happy Stride shorts. Very, very comfortable if you are doing the long distance runs. Somebody pointed out to me that all of my running kit used to be black. I was kind of like the Johnny Cash of running. And so I looked for the most leery pair of shorts I could find. And yeah, they're just so comfortable. So for long distance runs, I only now wear Happy Stride. Moving down, we've got some Kendal mint cake, top-ups of that, top-ups of the fruit bars there, bags for my dirty laundry, so if I do change my shorts or change my t-shirt along the way, it can go in there. We have top-ups of Active Root. We have Active Root powder as well, so I can top up at the aid stations. Microfiber towel, which will be handy. A dry fleece for when I'm sleeping at the aid station. Electrolyte salt tablets to top those up. Spare buff if I need that. Spare t-shirts and spare fleeces. T-shirts and vests. An extra hat and pairs of gloves in case it does get really cold out on the mountains. I've got my wash bag so I can clean my teeth and stuff. Various charging things there for my watch, for the phone, for the camera, and a blanket as well. I was going to take a sleeping bag, but I thought I'd take a blanket. It's a bit more versatile. I can either just lay there with one layer of the blanket over me, I can have my feet hanging out if I want to, or I can really snuggle myself in on it. So yeah, a blanket for the aid stations. And then the final thing that I've got to think about is after the run as well. So where we finish at Worm's Head, there's a couple of cafes, I believe. But obviously I might finish in the middle of the night and they're not going to be open. So I'm going to be car camping and also maybe sleeping in a tent as well one of the days. So I have dry robe, which that will be going on me as soon as I finish. Keep me nice and warm. I've got sliders, so I can take my running shoes off because my feet generally, well, after a long run, do tend to swell up like an elephant's. I do have my one-man tent. I've got my sleeping bag and various camping bits in there. I've also, this is probably one of the most important bits of kit. It's a pretty much sealable bag. I've done it before. I've slept in the car after a long run. And when you spend a night with your running shoes that you spend the whole day running in, it's not pleasant. So I can put my sweaty running shoes in there and seal them up and hopefully they won't smell too bad. And then bottle of Coke in there, a gas cylinder for my stove, and I will get some other food as well. It's just a case of thinking about what food I'm going to want when I finish. I've got a couple of sachets of coffee there, but I'll probably get maybe some more nuts, I don't know, anything that's full of calories that I think I might want, I will put in there, and some water as well. So a fair old chunk of stuff to take. I just hope I haven't forgotten anything. So that's everything packed then. Bit of a tight squeeze, but we got it all in there. And this will be the last video, almost certainly the last one that I do before the actual Wild Horse 200. So really looking forward to it now. Still feeling very, very daunted. Had a call from the race director a few days ago. He makes a habit of phoning everybody, which is a really nice touch. So yeah, getting my head around the idea. Really, really looking forward to it so much. So probably a couple of weeks before there's another video on the channel. But yeah, looking forward to filming the run as well. And as soon as the video is ready, I will get that uploaded.